I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It's a heartbreak.
I'm not mad, I'm just sad.
The other day, I got a strike against my channel, just like so many poker vloggers have. It was an erroneous error made by an automated bot. And who came to my rescue? None other than Brad Owen himself. I got the strike removed, got the ban lifted, and I have to thank Brad. Then I heard he's having a meetup game at Resorts World in Las Vegas, and I thought, why not thank him by going after some of his Bradley dollars? So I'm up 7 a.m. in the morning, headed to Las Vegas, and let's have some fun.
Well, here I am in Las Vegas' newest casino on the strip, Resorts World. I think this is going to be a great trip.
This is a great episode with some fantastic lessons at the end. Make sure you stick around. But for now, I'm in the Resorts World Poker Room, and it is packed to the brim. The 5 seats left open because the kings of poker vlogs are going to be rotating around. I hope to be knighted with a valiant effort. I buy in for $870 at the 2-5 game. And I'm going to play a little cautiously, tossing away some hands that I might play at the 1-3 game, and then I pick up 7-6 of diamonds in the big blind. The cutoff opens the action of 15. Let the games begin. The button makes the call. The small blind defends. I'm going to defend as well. Let's see a flop. It comes out king 5-6. Backdoor straight and flush draws. I hit my pair of sixes, but with 3 players behind me. I'm just going to try to get to the turn and try to get a little more equity. It checks all the way through. The turn is a 6. Now I have trips, and I'm going to be taking the lead. I make it 40. No one was a tango. I pick up my first pot of the night, 908 on my stack. I get queen jack in the small blind. Someone put in a bet. I'm going to fold, play cautiously, try to play smart in position poker. I go through my first dry spell, tossing away some junkers. The next time I get his pocket nines in the hijack, 908 in my stack. The low jack's open to 15. I'm going to call and set mine. The big blind defends 47 in the pot. 3-way action. The flop and it's queen jack 9. I hit my 9, but that is a juicy, wet board. I could already be beat, and if I'm not beat now, I could get crushed later unless I pair the board. Since there are so many draws, I'm going to bet a pot-sized bet of 40. And both the big blind and low jack fold. Chips are slowly but surely coming my way. And I'll tell you what, these are some gorgeous chips. Absolutely beautiful. Brand new sharp edges. A lot of fun to play with. The next hand I pick up is king 8 of clubs in the button. All players in front of me fold. It's just me and the blinds. Some people might say, it's just the blinds left. Let them chop. Be polite. But I think that if you're on the button, that's the best chance you have to make money. And so you need to take advantage of those situations. The poker table is a place to be nice, courteous, respectful of the other players, but it's also a place to wage war. I make it 15, and the small blind fires right back at me, makes it 45 for 30 more with position and a suited king. I'm going to make the call. 95 in the pot, heads up action to flop, and it's 4 queen 9, 2 clubs on the board. I'm drawing to the second nut flush. The small blind bets 60. I'm just going to continue to play it cool. I make the call. I don't have a mate hand, and it would be disastrous if he has ace X of clubs. The turn comes out the deuce of clubs. I love to see that 3-leaf clover, but I don't love to see that my opponent gets wise and checks to me. I have a decision to make. Am I going to bet small, try to lure him in, or do I want to go for it, protect my hand if he's drawing to the ace of clubs, which he probably would have continued betting if he did have that. I make it 150, and it's going to get through again. It's not just me that seems to be playing timid, but the entire table. I've been getting some great hands, but haven't been able to make much money off of them. I, of course, am having the time of my life playing all this poker, meeting all these great people, and traveling all over the place. Taking a split second to drop a like on this video really helps me so much. I want to keep bringing you guys incredible content. $1,021 in my stack. And I pick up pocket kings under the gun. Love to see those cowboys. I make it 15. The middle position player calls. The low jack comes along as well. And then the button takes 20 off of a red stack and ships the other 80 in. 132 in the pot. Now I'm faced with a decision. The decision is not whether I'm going to raise or not. That is a guarantee. The question is how much. I basically put him all in, betting $350. The player to my left actually thinks for a very long time. He probably has a hand like ace-queen suited, pocket tens. I'm double blocking ace-king. Whatever he has, he sees that it's getting out of control. A little too fast for him. He decides to make the fold. The button was probably just trying to do a squeeze play, or maybe he has a hand like pocket tens because he lays it down. I can tell with that bet sizing, I'm still a little nervous about playing higher stakes. I'm getting better and better as I play more and more sessions. But 1-3 is still my bread and butter. There's no need to get out of your comfort zone if you're not ready. 1156 in my stack, and I pick up pocket fives on the button. I've already hit a set today. You're not supposed to hit him every time, but I'm playing this just in case a 5 decides to show up anyway. The low jack opens at 15. I'm just going to make the call, set mine like I usually do. The small blind defends, so does the big blind. 4 players going to the flop, 60 in the pot. And it comes out Queen Jack 5. There is my 5. I connect once again. Absolutely beautiful to see. It checks around to me. I bet 15 to the pot, and I only get one player, the small blind, who comes along. 160 in the middle, and the turn is the king of clubs. Does bring some straights in, but I'm going to continue betting as if I have the best hand. He could have a lot of 2-pair options as well. I make it 75. The small blind makes a call. I'm starting to salivate, and then the turn comes a jack of clubs. Now I'm foaming up like old Yeller. The small blind diverts action to me, and once again, I'm swinging for the stars. These guys are 2-5 players. They're used to calling bigger bets than I'm used to, and I decide to bet 275. I feel like large bets accomplish 2 things. 1, it gets money into the pot, and 2, I've learned this from my own experience, it makes people talk themselves into thinking that you're bluffing. It's definitely a polarizing bet, but it's definitely not a bet that makes it look like I'm trying to milk him. Unfortunately, he sniffs me out like the rest of the table has and makes the fold. I'm still very glad to be acquiring chips, especially these green ones. I love getting those 25s and 2-5. And then I pick up suited ace, 8 of clubs in the low jack, 13-26 in my stack. I'm just going up and up and up like Charlie in the Great Glass Elevator. Folds to me. I open to 15. The hijack calls. So does the cutoff. I'm playing this hand out of position. 3-way action to the flop. And it's 6 ace 9. I connect with my ace. Not the best kicker, but I also have a club on the board, so I still have potential to make the nuts. I bet 20. The hijack calls, and then the cutoff raises to 110. I'm a little nervous to call out of position in an inflated pot with an ace with a weak kicker, but I can't fold just yet with those backdoor clubs. I make the call for 90. I expect the conservative player on my left to fold, but he grabs some greens, throws them into the pot. Now I'm stuck in a pickle between second and third, just trying to get my hand on the base with a club. And it is a club. The 3 of clubs hits the board. Now I'm 1 away from the nuts. I don't want to take the initiative on the pot. There's 2 other opponents. That's a scary proposition. I check. The player to my left checks. And then the aggressor, this whole hand, representing strength again, ships his whole stack in 650, a gross overbet on the pot. I have the top pair with a nut flush draw. The player on my left, who knows what he has. Frankly, if he wants to come along as well, better odds for me. Maybe I should just make the fold. The all-in bet just does not make sense to me. I think a set would try to milk for a little bit more. Maybe he really is just scared of one of us drawing out on him. But my live read spidey senses tell me I might be in the lead with the ace, and I have a backup plan with the clubs if I'm wrong. And the player to my left, I would prefer him to call over folding. So I'm not even worried that he's in the pot. I'm going for glory. A triple up with clubs would be incredible. I go all in. The player on my left winces, moans, and groans. He's looking back and forth at both of us, and he decides to toss his hand away. He tells us that he had 2 hearts. I'm looking for a club on the river, but it's the queen of hearts, 3 hearts on the board now. But he says he has absolutely nothing. I flip over my hand right away. I know you guys would have loved to see the hand, so would I have, but if he was semi-bluffing on the turn and didn't have hearts, that leads one combination, 8-7. Tommy Angelo and Elements of Poker on page 113, a book that I've been reading multiple times now. I love it for getting little tidbits of information throughout your head to keep your mind continuously focused on poker. He says, rather than forcing your opponent to show, I believe that the better play in a heads-up showdown is to turn your hand over anytime you hear your opponent declare a hand that you can beat or tie. It's stylishly trusting and fast. And so that's what I did. And I'm scooping a massive pot. Over $1,000 of profit already. Brad Owen is rotating tables every 30 minutes. And he is nowhere close to my table. It's going to take hours before he gets here. So I start to eye for a table change. The next hand I get is ace-jack offsuit in the big blind. $2,148 in my stack. The undergun player limps. The button limps as well. And I make it 15. More to play. The undergun player calls. The button completes. And the flop comes out 7 ace 7. I should probably bet here, but I just don't think much that I beat calls. The only hand I can really picture is like ace 9, ace 10, or a flush draw. And so I check, willing to check call. It checks all the way through though, and the turn is the 5 of clubs. I don't mind checking once again, so that is what I do. It checks around to the button, who bets 25. I'm making the call. So is the undergun player, 137 in the pot, still 3-way action. And the river is the jack of hearts, giving me 2 pair. The problem is there's 2 7s and 3 hearts on the board. I'm going to check again. I'm in check call mode unless something crazy pops off. It checks all around. The button flips up his hand. Ace 6 had the pair of aces with me. I maybe could have milked him for a little bit, but the undergun player shows hearts. Hit the flush on the river. Maybe I should have been more aggressive on that one. He probably could have folded his flush draw with the 2 7s on the flop, but I'm still losing not so much money. Today, I am a bounty at Humboldt Casino. The Run Good series starts today. 5:30, I'll be there for the opening ceremony, and then at 7 o'clock is the tournament. Come check it out. Come say hi to me. Let's get back to the action. The next hand I get is pocket jacks in the hijack. I open the action at 15. The cutoff, the conservative player Does a little 3-bet to 35. Usually I notice these small 3-bets come from people with pocket aces who just don't want to give up the hand, don't want to push everyone out of the pot. So I'm assuming he has something strong. The flop comes out 5-3 ace. There's an ace on the board, making it less likely he has pocket aces, but he could still have a single ace and beat me. I check it to my opponent, and he continuation bets 35. I'm just going to give this one up. I don't have a spade. It's going to be really hard to beat an ace. I toss in my jacks, and he flips up pocket queens. It was a good fold. The ace helped me out a lot, though. Well, this is the moment. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. I've definitely been waiting for it. I flew all the way to Vegas to play against Brad. There's finally an open seat at Brad's table. What's up, Brad? How you doing? Thank you for the inspiration. I'll always appreciate it. I move over. I'm going to play a little looser because I want to get involved in some hands with him. But I don't have to get too loose because right off the bat, I get pocket aces under the gun 1958 in my stack. I had accidentally put out the big blind. The dealer pushes it back to me. This is where it gets very interesting. The player to my right has bought the button. So if I just toss out a $5 chip, especially since Brad is distracting the table with his mere presence, maybe I can get a little sneaky, go for a raise, and they'll think it's coming out of the big blind rather than under the gun. And it works out perfectly. The middle position player bets 15. Brad folds, and then the low jack 3-bets to 45. Action folds around to me. This is when I go for the kill. Unlike the kings, I'm sizing down a little bit, make it 125. The middle position player folds. The low jack calls. 277 already in this pot, and I'm sitting with the best starting hand in poker. Brad is racking up his chips. Unfortunately, already headed to the next table. Right when I think I'm going to get enough money to potentially stack them. Let's hope for a clean flop. It's 2-jack-8 rainbow. This is great for me. The only hand I'm really worried about with my opponent 3-betting pre-flop is pocket jacks. But there's only a few combinations of those. I'm going to continue betting, trying to pile money into this pot. I make it 175. The low jack has no problem calling that. She could also have something like ace jack suited. Of course, she could have a set, but she's probably only going to have a set of jacks. I don't really see her 3-betting with 8s or deuces. I did, however, hear her talking with Brad about how she usually plays bigger stakes. She likes to play Omaha, Big O, and she dropped down so that she could play at the meetup game. So I'm definitely taking that into consideration. The turn comes out a 9 of hearts, a pretty good card to see. I doubt she has queen 10 suited either. I'm going to continue trying to build this pot, take money from kings, queens, ace, jack, pocket 10s. I make it 350. There is definitely an argument for only going for 2 streets of value. After all, I only do have a pair of aces, but I still think I have the best hand. And if my opponent has something like pocket kings, I'm going to get her whole stack. And she's going to give me the opportunity because she goes all in, folks. 1150. This is brewing to be the largest pot that I have ever played in. I don't think she's going all in with nothing, but I also have pocket aces. It is only one pair. I've committed about $600 to this pot. It's going to cost me $800 more to see the river. That is a lot of money. That is a lot of money for sure. I make the call. And the river comes out the 3 of spades. And instantly my opponent flips up pocket 8s, flopped a set of 8s, 3-bet pre-flops with 8s. I could have gotten away on the turn. I didn't have to commit $350 into the pot. But now I'm sitting with $503 down from my $2,200 I had earlier. Even down below my original buy-in, and Brad has disappeared into the win. Lost once again in the sea of players like a zebra in the herd. The fact that Brad was leaving was also brutal because I was going to get it from the table when he did. Of course, I had to get my aces cracked, and of course I had to burn $1,400 in the process. I decided to stick around just for a little bit longer. Maybe I can get a clean double up. I get pocket 4s on the hijack. Maybe I can hit another set. I limp. The small blind defends. 3 ways to the flop. And it comes out 8, 4, 10. Once again, I hit bottom set. Maybe this is my opportunity to get back up to $1,000. The big blind bets 10. I make it 40. And the big blind makes the call. We're going to the turn. It's the queen of hearts. The big blind decides to check this time. I check right back. So there's 3 hearts on the board. Straight's possible. And the river's the ace of diamonds, bringing in some more straight possibilities. This time my opponent's going to take a stab at it, and a pretty large one at that, 60 into the middle of the pot. I'm going to make the quick call. He flips over jack 9, turning the straight. I lost $100 on the hand, and I decided to get up from the table with $405 worth of chips.
I'm not mad, I'm just sad. I really am sad, and I don't ever really feel sad when I play poker, but I just burned all my profits for the session. I was playing well. Brad was literally getting up from the table, and so I was going to go because I've been playing for a long time. And then I get pocket aces, and let me know what you guys think about that hand. Very tough to fold that, especially with a lot of money in the pot, but I am calling off $800+ on the river. And this player, I don't think, is just bluffing me. I don't think that she is doing that with even a pair of kings, you know, when I 4-bet her pre-flop. So anyway, just gotta brush it off, moving on the next day. Overall, it was a good experience. I just, you know, I'm so good typically at getting up from the tables, and it makes the biggest difference. And, you know, there's situations like at the lodge or here when things prevent me from getting up from the table, like Brad's at the table, so I don't want to get up from the table. And it costs you. So the lesson to be learned is get up from the table before it's too late. Headed to Los Angeles tomorrow. All right, so it's been a day since the Brad Owen meetup game fiasco. My thoughts are, since I'm used to playing smaller stakes with smaller caps, when I start playing these larger games where I can potentially be sitting with $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 in front of me, the words all in means so much more because there's so much more to risk. And so typically in my game, you know, all in, I may lose 300, I may lose 500, 800, never like much more than that. But in these bigger games, like the 2-5 I played yesterday, all in, it can be a lot of money. And so I have to be able to, and I think I'm getting that practice by playing the games like the Lodge and here in Vegas, but I need to be able to adapt to playing bigger and deeper stakes. And so that's something I'm going to work on. That's something I want you guys to work on too. The desk said, "Mr. Cato, would you like to sit in our first class seat?" And I said, "Sure." Well, I guess it's me and the rich people at the front of the plane. All right, headed from Las Vegas to Los Angeles. It's going to be a great time meeting up with Next Gen, Wolfgang, and the crew, and we're going to do another meetup game.
Yeah, that is, oddly enough, Ted Cruz. He had just left the Poker Go studio playing against the greats Doyle Brunson and Phil Hellmuth, and now I got to get the hell out of Dodge, leave my troubles behind me, and remember the wise words of Samwise Gamgee. Even darkness must pass, a new day will come, and when the sun shines, it will shine out all the clear. Chippery says, the success to a poker player is being able to overcome adversity. I'm going to appreciate the good things I have going on in my life. I'm going to brush it off and go have a hell of a time in LA.
All right, looking for Wolfgang Poker Next Gen. I don't know where. Oh my gosh!
Look at these yahoos.